The Cytopoint injection is used to treat dogs with allergies, atopic allergies, and it's a long-acting injectable treatment for dogs that targets and neutralizes interleukin 31, which is a protein that triggers dermatitis in dogs. So if your dog has been suffering from allergies or they have been scratching and itching so much, well, Cytopoint might have been prescribed or recommended by your vet. And in this video, we are going to discuss the treatment, the pros, the cons, and everything, absolutely everything you need to know in order for you to make the right decision. Because there are things that absolutely no veterinarian will talk about whenever it comes to these treatments. So Cytopoint has been used in millions and millions of dogs to treat atopic dermatitis or other allergies, and it works relatively fast. It acts relatively fast. Within 24 hours you can actually see its efficacy, and you can see that your dog will not be itching and scratching and scratching as much as they used to prior. Now, we do need to think about how Cytopoint is recommended to you from a veterinarian standpoint, because a lot of the time what we see is that you, the consumer, have a problem and your dog has been driving you crazy and up the wall with their allergies, and they are itching and scratching so much and you don't really know what to do. So the natural course of action is for you to take your dog to the vet and for the vet to recommend or prescribe something that will mitigate the symptoms and that will hopefully eradicate the problem you are having. And listen, we all love paracetamol and we all love aspirin, but sometimes what we don't talk about is the lack of sleep and you drinking a bit more than usual and not drinking maybe enough water. So we are going to dive deep into the actual causes of why your dog is itching and how we can potentially solve your dog's allergies without Cytopoint. Because the one thing about Cytopoint that I don't like, and I'll discuss later on in the video, is that its efficacy can sometimes wane. We can safely say that about 90 maybe to 90% of allergies or atopic dermatitis these days in dogs is down to some sort of food intolerance. I mean, the first thing you need to do if you have a dog with atopic dermatitis or any other allergy is for you to turn the bag of food over and analyze all the treats. And the first thing I want you to do, and you can pause this video right now and go on and do it, is for you to read the ingredients for everything you give your dog. Just as we do with babies or little kids sometimes, is we read the ingredients for everything and we have to discard or identify potential allergens. So we are going to do the same thing for your dog. Now, if you see anything inflammatory in your dog's diet, the best thing for you to do is cut that out, because that could be the very first thing that could be triggering this intolerance or this atopic dermatitis. So we are going to try to cut out any wheat, any barley, any corn, any soy, and what we are then going to rule out is any common proteins like chicken or beef, because those tend to be a bit more prevalent and some dogs will be more prone to being intolerant to chicken or beef. So on the back of your treats and food, if you see anything like animal fat or meat and animal derivatives, I want you to cut that out. I want you to phase your dog out of that food and put them onto a better food. So what we want is to find out a novel protein. If we think about it, a lot more dogs are going to be prone to be allergic to chicken than reindeer. So if we find a novel protein, a rare left field option, then your dog is a lot less likely to be allergic or reactive to that protein. We can do reindeer. How about pheasant? We can do goat, we can do kangaroo, we can do something quite rare, trout, quail. There are many proteins you can go down the list with and you can identify that your dog might not be allergic or reactive to. But a lot of commercial pet food will be either chicken based or beef based, or they will contain a lot of highly inflammatory ingredients, and those can be the actual cause of your dog's atopic dermatitis. Now, there can be some risks associated with Cytopoint because obviously no medical treatment is without any potential risks. So anytime you are going to put anything external into your dog or yourself, anytime you take a medication, that medication will come with a prospectus which will outline any potential pitfalls or potential risks to the treatment. And so for Cytopoint, some dogs might be hypersensitive to it, and some dogs might develop a severe allergic reaction in the form of anaphylaxis. All the symptoms or all the potential pitfalls can be grogginess, weakness, collapse, trouble breathing, vomiting, facial swelling, or hives. And if your dog is suffering from any of these, it is absolutely imperative that you take them to the vet immediately. But that obviously is not the biggest risk or the biggest thing about Cytopoint. The biggest thing about Cytopoint is that your dog's immune system is going to develop antibodies to the treatment. So Cytopoint is not chemically based, so it's actually quite liver friendly or kidney friendly. It's actually an antibody that blocks the itch signal in your pet's nervous system. This simply means that the efficacy of Cytopoint is going to wane as you give it to your dog more and more, because your dog's immune system, if your dog's immune system is healthy enough, will develop the antibodies to combat this treatment. Now obviously, whenever you take your dog to the vet and they prescribe a treatment, you have to assess everything your dog is currently taking and everything your dog is currently on. So for example, if your dog is on monthly flea and worming treatments, if your dog is on some other medications and then you put Cytopoint on top of it, then we are treating every problem in our dog with a tablet or an injection or some other medical intervention, and that's oftentimes not the best course of action. So the best course of action for atopic dermatitis or any other skin allergies or any rashes is for you to assess what you are currently giving your dog. It is also believed that veterinary prescription diets can be the solution to your problem. So if you have been prescribed or recommended a veterinarian prescription diet, I highly encourage you to look on the back of the bag, and you will see some of the ingredients that I have been talking about. You will see a lot of maize, a lot of wheat gluten. You will see vague ingredients such as animal fats or poultry protein, for example, and you will see things that are quite inflammatory and quite vague when it comes to ingredients. And it is our belief that you should absolutely not go for a veterinary prescription diet, because if we are trying to reduce the inflammation and if we are trying to identify what's causing your dog's atopic dermatitis or skin issues, what we want to rule out is first inflammatory ingredients and second anything vague. So if we get a veterinary prescription diet and we see animal fats, will we know what animal is that fat coming from? We won't, because they don't identify it. What we want to see is either chicken fat, deer fat, sardine fat, kangaroo fat. We want the manufacturer to be as specific as possible so that we can rule in or rule out different ingredients for our dogs. It is the same with poultry protein. If it's poultry, we won't really know which bird it is. It's just poultry. And it is always the case in veterinary prescription diets that they use very, very vague ingredients. And in our opinion, those veterinary prescription diets are not very good for your dog. Now, we actually have a dog allergy test sheet that you can use safely for your dog, and you can download it in the link below. That will tell you to rule in or out different ingredients and different foods for your dog, and it will give you some guidance when it comes to what the best dog food is for your dog and what you should be feeding your dog. Now, in most cases, whenever we talk to people about Cytopoint, we can safely take their dogs off of Cytopoint or any other treatment, and we can actually come up with a plan, with a diet plan that will serve your dog a lot better, and that solves the problem virtually every single time. And so if you are really curious about what to feed your dog and what to look out for, I highly encourage you to watch this video next.